And Yemi Akinwumi steps in as the court asks Uche Secondus to stop parading himself as the PDP national chairman. We dissect that matter for you tonight. And the governor of Borno State is asking Nigerians to accept the repentant Boko Haram members. As it says, about 100,000 people or more have been killed in the 12 years of insurgency in the state. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimbalo in Lagos. Let's tell you quickly that the governor of Borno State says over 100,000 persons have been killed in 12 years of insurgency in Borno State, while the whereabouts of over 10% of indigenes is still currently unknown. The governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Zulum, made the revelation today after a visit to the president at the State House in Abuja. According to him, the state has officially recorded about 2,600 surrendered Boko Haram members, including their wives and children, calling for full support towards the surrendered terrorists if the nation wants to see an end to insurgency. Let's take a listen to Professor Zulum.
These are official figures. The unofficial figures are more than this. And we were able to cultivate no more than 3% of our total arable because of the incentives. And right now, the whereabouts of not less than 10% of people of Borno State is not known to all of us. This is a very serious matter.
That's Professor Babagana Zulum. Apologies for the quality of that audio. Let's tell you more about some of your political roundup stories.
A federal high court sitting in Abuja has struck out a motion filed by the Department of State Service seeking to further detain 4 out of the 12 aides of the Yoruba Nation agitators leader Sunday Adeyemo, popularly known as Sunday Igboho. The motion was thrown out by Justice Obiora Egwuatu of the Federal High Court on Tuesday, following the dramatic withdrawal by counsel to DSS, Mr. Idowu Awu, at the resumption of the matter. When the motion was to be heard, the DSS lawyer stunned the court when he announced his decision not to go ahead with the matter. As part of efforts to curb the spate of kidnappings in Edo State, Governor Godwin Obaseki has appealed to the army to establish more formations in the state, particularly in the Central Senatorial District. Mr. Obaseki made the appeal when he received the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, at the Government House in Benin City, the Edo State capital.
I'm aware of what you are doing, for example, addresses of our challenges in Nigeria School of Supply and Transport, with the construction you are doing, and also the other support you are providing in terms of logistics and synergy we are having between the services and other agencies in the state. We appreciate and I thank you so sincerely, sir.
We begin to witness a lot of community disputes, and they've been helpful, but we will also plead if you can consider also helping us have a special squad to support our efforts.
And similar visit is seen in Oyo State to the governor, Seyi Makinde, who's pledged the continuous support of his administration to the Nigerian army and other security agencies in the state. The governor made the comment while receiving the new Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, who was on a working visit to the state. He notes that Oyo State has international borders which has exposed the state to security issues in the past, but the Nigerian army and other security agencies have always risen to the challenge.
Just by having an international border, this is also a vulnerable zone. So we want to plead that we'll continue to play our part, but whatever it is that you need us to do, please let us know.
My aim coming here is just to appreciate His Excellency and thank you for the warm reception and appreciate you, sir, for all the things you have been doing for the Nigerian Army in particular, and indeed other services and other security agencies.
All is not well with Nigeria's main opposition party, perhaps one of the oldest party in the Fourth Republic in Nigeria, the People's Democratic Party. Today, the Deputy National Chairman, South, of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has assumed leadership of the party following a court order restraining Mr. Uche Secondus from parading himself as the national chairman of the party. A statement signed by the Deputy National Chairman, Mr. Yemi Akinwumi, notes that his assumption of office is in line with Section 35, subsection 3B of the party's constitution. He also announced a postponement of a National Working Committee meeting that was earlier scheduled for today. The PDP is being enmeshed in a leadership crisis, with some internal interests calling for the resignation of the National Working Committee led by Mr. Uche Secondus. Mr. Akinwumi, on his way out of Lagos today, spoke to journalists on his plans as he takes over as the acting chairman of the PDP. Take a listen to him.
Section 5, bracket 3B of the Constitution of the PDP, the PDP empower me to summon and preside over party meeting in the absence of national chairman. In the absence of national chairman. 2, our attention has been drawn to yesterday evening court order, which purportedly restrained our national chairman, Prince Uche Secondus, from summoning presiding over meetings of the national organ of the party. It's not more making. Yes. 3, in the foregoing circumstance, as the Deputy National Chairman South, which is number 1 of the People's Democratic Party, after due consultation and in the exercise of aforesaid power, hereby deeming fit and proper to postpone the National Working Committee meeting earlier scheduled for today till further notice, to allow broader consultation in overall interest of our party.
So there are a few sections which, of course, will be staying on the PDP's. If you're a member of the PDP, sit back because there are a few dimensions to it. From the conversations that I've had with members of the PDP and the dissection that we will be having on the matter tonight with my guest, is going to be a robust one. So sit tight, everyone, and let's get an understanding of what exactly is happening in the PDP. So I showed you the court order earlier on that emanated from River State yesterday, Port Harcourt High Court in River State, asking Prince Uche Secondus to not to parade himself as the party chairman. But the chairman of the party, Uche Secondus, has since reacted to the incident that's happened and the court order. And in part of the statement yesterday, he was already pointing accusing fingers. And he says through his media office yesterday that he was saying that a special assistant to the media, to the River State governor, according to him, is behind what is happening. And according to Prince Uche Secondus, he says, quote, "It is disheartening that the interim order of court used in removing the former Chief Justice of Nigeria, CJN, Justice Walter Onogen, unilaterally in January 2019, for which PDP vehemently condemned, is resurrecting again from Port Harcourt." So what do you make of this, everyone? Let's get into it. I have joining me from our Lagos studio here, Ken Okolubo, a former commissioner, Desopadeg in Delta State. Thank you so much, Ken, for coming tonight.
It's always my pleasure, Shion.
And in our Abuja studio is a lawyer, also head of ICT in PDP, Anthony Hilabo. And with him is also Austin Okai, Every one of them on the panel tonight are members of the PDP. Well, you'll see the passion when we get the conversation started. So you heard, Ken, what Elder Akinwumi said. And he's quoting the law, the constitution of the PDP. I have a copy here. Allowing him to take over in the absence of Prince Uche Secondus. Let me get your take first and foremost. Did you see your party getting to this point? Because a lot of people will have thought that everything has been doused. Last week, the governors, the BOT chairman, they met and they gave Uche Secondus what we all called a soft landing. But the soft landing now is looking like a hot water because now there is a court order.
We actually had this conversation when I was in Obiaruku, but the network didn't actually allow me finish what I was saying. But most of what I actually said is what is happening now. You know, you've had cause to call me a prophet of PDP. And I saw this coming because we don't have to get ourselves to this stage. Now, if you look at what Akinwumi said, he's the deputy national chairman for the South. You can't doubt it. And the constitution clearly says that in the absence of a national chairman, where the deputy national chairman, the zone where the deputy national chairman comes from, should take over. But he doesn't look very fit, if you look at the interview. And again, did we have to get to this route? So that's the question you ask yourself. Like you rightly said, the Board of Trustees had given a leeway. The National Executive Committee of the party and the National Working Committee. And that was exactly what I was proposing, that, look, if we say we don't have to wait till December night, let us put together a convention planning committee. Now, when you have a convention planning committee, you accelerate the process. Yes, the elections are coming on in Anambra in November. I don't see why we cannot even push the convention if it's not feasible in October to November. And by then, we are hitting December night when Uche Secondus' tenure is supposed to be up. And we would have gone through the 4 years process and we wouldn't have gone foul of the law.
But Ken,
yes.
There's a sincere question I would like you to answer.
Yes.
When the governors and the BOT told Uche Secondus to organize a Congress and a convention by the end of October, was that fair? Was that realistic?
No, I was going to come to that.
Because all of the stages, first and foremost, where this is coming from what I understand and hear, is that Uche Secondus-led NWC has released a timetable, and that timetable of the convention and the congresses will make the NWC end their tenure at the end of November. And some members of the party or leaders of the party are not happy about it. And this is perhaps what we're saying that led to the court order that we saw from Port Harcourt. Is that true?
No, but remember when I was in the studio with Kazim, I clearly said that what was the hurry between now and December night, which was when Uche Secondus' tenure was going to be up. Yes, they met themselves in the middle ground. I was always proposing December night, if you ask my opinion.
But was it
but the
fair?
pressure,
was it
but the
fair,
pressure.
no,
hold on. It's not about being fair.
No. Is it
it's
fair
about
to have given him
I
timeline?
can't be going against a body of governors who are the leaders of the party, the National Executive Council of the party, and National Working Committee. In their wisdom, they were able to find a middle ground. But you see, what Uche Secondus did was that he was delaying calling the NEC meeting. I don't know who would have done this Rivers. I mean, they said he's a Rivers State governor, but there is no evidence to show that he's a Rivers State governor. I don't know those people because we know those who are voice bearers, we know those who are popular in our party. I've looked at the names of the people who went to court. They are not known names, if you ask me in all sincerity of purpose. But they've gotten Justice Bassa, a vacation judge, to give an order which Uche Secondus have no option but to obey. Now, what do you ask? Akinwumi is not saying we must postpone the National Working Committee. Now, Suleiman Nazif says Akinwumi is not fit. I am taking over. Remember that 9 of them met and 6 voted.
So,
six voted
just
for
the clarity,
yes,
for our viewers. Senator Suleiman Nazif
is the deputy national chairman from the north.
From the north.
Now, his case is that in the absence of Akinwumi, I take over. And Akinwumi is not fit. But we have heard Akinwumi at least speak. Akinwumi is not lying on the bed.
Let our viewers see what the
he's
argument
not
is all
actually
about.
lying on
if
the
the
bed.
producer can just put on the film of Elder Akinwumi today at the airport, when it was about leaving Lagos for Abuja. So that the argument of, according to you, Senator Nassif, and some others who believe that it shouldn't be there. So Ed Akinwumi is the person in the middle there in the white. You saw him speak earlier. But let's go to Abuja studio. Let me bring Austin Okai into the conversation. Austin, what's your view on what is happening? You've spoken passionately about this matter the last time you were on this program. Did you see this coming?
Yes. We know something happened before they called for his resignation. And this is a man we know very well. And exactly the same thing repeated itself after an expanded caucus meeting, which includes the PDP governors, the board of trustee members, and other critical stakeholders, where it was unanimously agreed upon that arrangements should be put in place for speedy national convention, which was accepted that it should be in October. But unfortunately, nothing has been done to that effect. I don't think that is even the reason. The decision that removed him from the office, announced yesterday by the court in Rivers State, is strictly that of an issue that has to do with his membership and his own word. He was expelled from the party. And having been suspended from the party, he is no longer a party member. And unfortunately, he can't be a national chairman. And I think the right thing has been done. Immediately, we responded yesterday in PDP National Youth Frontier that he should obey the court order pending when he sought out himself from his word. Then a party that criticized disobedience to court order by the president and APC government can't be seen dancing to the same tune. Thanks to the national chairman, the former national chairman, Pesuche Sekudus, for obediently obey this very court order. And the Constitution stated that the deputy national chairman from the same zone where the national chairman came from should take over. Unfortunately, you and I can see what is happening on the screen, that the man is incapacitated. But time will prove it. I can't sit down here to decide on that. But the right thing has been done by complying with the court order.
Can you call this incapacitation? Someone who is obviously may not be in the best of strength or in his vigor that we know him for, because Akinwumi has been a guest on this program a lot of times. So, but you can't. I don't think you can describe that as incapacitation from the dictionary meaning.
That is what Senator Nazifi said, Deputy National Chairman from the North. And it is based on this he has also declared himself as the acting National Chairman. So that's why I said earlier that it's time that will prove it to us. I can't sit down here and conclude that he's incapacitated. But as it stands now, we have a former National Chairman that has obeyed the court order, and that his own chapter has closed. The next thing for him to go back to his word and fix the music of either, I think he was accused of anti-party activities, and see how he can get himself back to the party. But the most important thing now is that we have a deputy national chairman, which is Ed Akinwumi from the southwest, who has already occupied the position of the national chairman. For now, there's no vacant again. And I think the party is ready to prepare for the national convention.
I'm not sure there is really anything new in Nigeria's politics, because when I hear that the national chairman is being suspended from his word, it reminds me of something that happened just recently in the APC, where former governor of Edo State, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, was said to have been suspended in his ward. So it's happening in the PDP. Similar templates, different political parties. Let me bring in Anthony Ehilebo into the conversation. Anthony, give us a legal point of view. And I'm going to read a portion of your party constitution to you. I'm going to take section 35, subsection 2, subsection 3 now. And it says that the deputy national chairman shall perform the following functions: assist the national chairman in the discharge of his duties, perform such other party function as may be assigned to them. C, in the event of resignation, removal, death, incapacitation or absence of the national chairman, the deputy national chairman from the region / part of the country where the national chairman originated from shall assume office of the national chairman in acting capacity without prejudice to Section 47, subsection 6 of his constitution. And he went further in the D part to say, in the absence of the national chairman and the deputy national chairman from the region or part of the country where the national chairman originated from, the other deputy national chairman shall act as national chairman without prejudice to Section 47, subsection 6 of this constitution. You are the lawyer here. Give us a sense of what this means.
Well, Sean, there's nothing that you've read that is out of order. The national chairman, by the judicial pronouncement of yesterday, is bound. His hands are tied now. His feet are tied. He can no longer act as the national chairman or parade himself as the national chairman until that matter is sorted out. Remember the last time I was here with my brother, and I told you that the PDP has mechanism for resolving any issue. It is a party that, through time, has built its mechanisms, unlike some other parties that do not have a BOT, do not currently even have a national working committee or even ward executives. So we must give kudos to the party that it quickly resolves its issues. I'll give a quick explainer to what has happened today. Senator Nazif, who is the deputy national chairman from the north, had obviously assumed that there was no other person that could take the position, and it had fallen to him. But we saw a situation where the deputy national chairman from the south, Elder Yomi Akinwumi, has stepped up and taken his position as guaranteed by the constitution and, as you just read out, the organogram of the party. So that settles the issue. And he doesn't really need to do so much on the day-to-day activity, considering that the party has other NWC members that can run the party. The National Organizing Secretary is still there. The National Publicity Secretary released, I think, about 4 statements today. So the party is still functional. The party is still moving on. Issues that are related to court processes, as you know, Sheung, are sub judice, and I would not want to delve into the substance of the matter. But as for the political party PDP, it is healthy, it is moving on, it has resolved its issues. As I assured you the last time I was here, the PDP is not a party that was formed today, it's not a party that was formed 6 years ago, it's not a party that does not have a BOT or a functional NEC. I can assure you that within the next 1 or 2 weeks, you will see the NEC will be called, and the party will swing into convention mode to either re-elect current NWC members if they choose to contest, or new NWC members, as the case may be. But the point that we must make here, Sheung, is that PDP has shown capacity within the context of current events for it to be able to resolve its issues. And that's a pointer for where we are going as Nigeria. The current party that is in power today lacks the capacity to resolve its issues. It has shown that it lacks the capacity to even organize. It has in its constitution a BOT. It is yet to even constitute the BOT after 6 years. But you have seen what bodies like the BOT, bodies like the Governors Forum of the PDP are able to achieve within the context. I assure you that if the chairman, and it is nobody's pride, I don't think that personally it is a tradition that we want to keep that our chairmen are pushed out of office or forced to resign. But the context here is that he was given a parachute which he could have taken and successfully hosted the convention as agreed by the extended caucus last week, that he should have called for a NEC meeting. And I can tell you that it's as a result of probably maybe the context wasn't there for him to call for the NEC meeting last week, maybe because of the burial of Governor Kowa's father and every other ceremony that happened. You know, this last weekend was one that was filled with a lot of activities, the coronation of the Olu of Warri, the marriage of the president's son, lavish marriage of the president's son in Kano, and all of that. So that may have predisposed the party not to hold the NEC. But when you have a gentleman's agreement, Sheung, it behoves of you, as someone who has escaped being forced out of the party, to have calmed the nerves and have called for that next meeting. Nobody wants to see anybody disgraced. But I hope that he goes to Degema and resolves the issue that he has tied his hands so far. But as for the People's Democratic Party, it is stable and it is moving on.
Anthony, I love your optimism, because the last time you said your party has a way of getting back on its feet. You just remind me of my secondary school days, when we get into a fight with a classmate, and as soon as your class teacher is coming, and you, even with a bloody nose, everyone will say everything is fine. And I love the fact that you say it's a family affair, but it doesn't look to me, because if everything is okay, we will not be here discussing the matter. There is an obvious crisis. If there is no crisis, people will not go to court. But it does look like, from what you said, it was just optimism, but there is so much trouble in your party. But from my little understanding and how much I followed, hold on, Anthony. Hold on, Anthony. From the days of Babanga Tuko to the days of Prince Ogbulafo to Lisel Nwodo to Senator Alimadu Sheriff, PDP has always had a troubled leadership period. And the question here is that anytime these kind of court issues come up, the party always has a problem.
No, Shaun, I don't think this is an issue that we should be too concerned about, the court issues and everything. For me, I think the party resolves its issue. And when you say PDP, you make it look as if it's a singular problem. PDP can get out of his problem. There are other parties that cannot even find their way out of their issues right now. Are you going to talk about APGA that has the same problem? Are you going to talk about APC that has a far worse problem? But PDP, what we are saying is the party will have its issues, because we are talking about conflicting interests. People have their interests. People want, they want, and I'll let you know that PDP is the beautiful bride right now. PDP is the party that is poised to take power in 2023. So there's a struggle for the soul of PDP. And this is what you have seen manifesting at this level. And for all intent and purpose, I assure you that it is not something that will mortally damage the party. It is not, we don't have a situation where the party is in danger at this point in time. As you have seen, steady hands have come to the party is steady. And like I assured you the last time, I told you that they would try and resolve this issue. And they had gotten a resolution. If not that agreements that were made were somehow violated or not kept, or people felt that those agreements were going to be breached, and they rushed to the courts. We had had a situation where
we're due
the
for a
leaders had
break,
intervened.
Anthony.
They had put in.
We're due for a break.
They had put
I'm
in
not surprised, Anthony. You're a lawyer. You know how to describe black that will make it look like white. But we'll take a break and we'll talk more after. You almost made it look like your party is not in trouble. Your party is in trouble. And we're discussing how your party can get out of this quagmire. We'll take a break, everyone. And when we return, up next, the PDP future in this troubled time. What is the way out? Is a hot water from Mr. Secondus, but Prince Akinwumi, how will he paddle his way through the stormy waters? That's our conversation when we return from this break, everyone. Join us again. If you look at the PDP from 1998, there is hardly anyone that has spent as much time as Prince Uche Secondus as the national chairman of the PDP. In fact, some of the people who have led the party as national chairman, they spent 1 year, some 2 years, and he's almost ending his time as a national chairman. Then came these troubled waters. Let's get back to the conversation today. Where does the major opposition party go from this point? There is a court order from yesterday. Prince Akinwumi, who is the deputy national chairman south of the party, is taking over. There is conversation whether or not he's in the best of health shape to steer the affairs of the party. Senator Nassif is there, is the deputy national chairman of the party from the north. where does the party go from here? Ken Okolugbo, a member of the PDP and a former Desopadec commissioner in Delta State, is here with me in our Lagos studio. From our Abuja studio, he's a lawyer, head of IT of the PDP, Anthony Ehilabo, and Mr. Austin Okai is also a member of the PDP. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us tonight. Let me come back to you, Mr. Okolugbo. I was describing a situation where each time we see this kind of situation happening in the party, I remember Senator Alimodu Sheriff and what happened when we had
it was a long
chairman.
stretch.
It was a terrible moment.
It was a terrible moment
for your party. It does look like something similar. Each time there is a national chairmanship tussle like this and it's gone to court, it doesn't end well. Does it look like a deja vu to you?
Yeah, that's exactly why you see that I've been very worried. Remember how many times I had to come back and forth when the issue of Amodu Sheriff and McAfee, we had it. We don't have to go down that route. Now, you say we don't. The truth is, I feel totally embarrassed being in the studio discussing this issue. Because why I blame Uche Secondus was that when you broke the news in April, when Kazim Afegba was there, he could have nipped this whole thing in the bud. But he sat out and took it for granted. And it's the same sitting out and not calling for a NEC meeting that has given the impression to almost everyone that he wants to become a sit-tight chairman. Remember, he visited Olusegun Obasanjo at a very critical time when people would read meaning into his actions. Now, what am I saying? Yes, we have a way of resolving our issue. Remember, I was a former member of the Presidential Campaign Council. And one thing I learned from Goodluck Jonathan in our meetings was that when issues like this, naughty issues like this come, he always says that, resolve it. We don't have to shout. We don't have to quarrel. Do you understand? There was a time Sambo, I remember Vice President Sambo was going to have a heads-on with Kwakwansu right there in one of the meetings that we had in House 7 in the Villa. And I can remember how it was resolved. Yes, there's a lot of interest. A lot of interest is going on right now. But what we immediately need to do now, Shehu, is to allow Elder Akinwumi to call a NEC meeting as early as Friday. Because if you say he's incapacitated, if you do a cognitive test, he will pass a cognitive test from the way he spoke at the airport. Yes, he used his thumb print to, according to what...
To sign.
To sign.
We have the
a thumb print
yeah.
is... It's actually allowed. He used the thumbprint to sign. He didn't sign with his hands, meaning that he doesn't have his full functions of his body. But he spoke and he could pass a cognitive test. So what we need to do at this point is allow him call a NEC meeting immediately. Let us put this convention planning committee into place. Remember what my governor did in both Abuja and in Port Harcourt. You can have Okowa again chair that convention committee because he has shown credibility. I'm not marketing my governor here. But we are at a crisis point where we need to use people who are credible, because I'm not indicting the other governors, but we know that there are governors that have interest at this material point in time.
Behind all of this?
Oh, of course, you should know that there are some governors that are behind this. If there are no governors behind this, let's call a spade a spade. I'm not indicting any governor here, but if there are no governors behind this, who are those people who will get a vacation judge to immediately grant this?
Anybody could have
yes,
gone to court.
to immediately grant this interim order. No, my
court?
problem here is that the disrespect for the BOT, the disrespect for the expanded caucus is what I'm worried about. This court order is a clear disrespect for the expanded caucus. Yet, maybe Secondus must have been recalcitrant in calling a NEC meeting. We could have given him maybe a week or two and see if we had gotten into September and he wasn't putting it into place. But going ahead to get this court case, it's like you said, it's deja vu. Now, his word has suspended him. Of course, if his word has suspended
in 2005,
him... Yes.
Audu Ogbe resigned as the chairman of the PDP.
But he resigned under duress, remember?
Because the former president
resigned under duress.
Was not happy with the way he handled the situation in Anambra State. And it was in relation to the governorship election. And now the election is coming again in Anambra State. The question I want to ask you when I ask if it's a kind of a deja vu to you is that in 2005, Audu Ogbe resigned when Anambra governorship election in situation surrounding
it wasn't
Anambra
actually. It was actually the resignation of Ngige.
Yeah, but the question is that the fear of the fear about this situation in your party when there is an election, a critical election that your party should be concentrating on. Are you afraid about your party's participation, you do not have a candidate on the list of INEC just yet as a party. Are you afraid about your participation in the governorship election in Anambra State?
If you ask me, we mismanaged the Anambra affair totally. A party where you have a Peter Obi who was able to garner almost 90% of the votes in the last presidential election and was able to get 2 senatorial seats. We were able to get 2 senatorial seats, Uche Kunife and Stella Odua. Now, is this the same party that we are now sitting down to say that we do not have a substantive chairman? We had to use a list other than the ad hoc delegates and the delegates, substantive delegates who are the 5 working committee from the wards to all the local government and to the states. I mean, I asked myself this question. Could we not have managed the number better? Do you understand? And it's obvious that we mismanaged the number. The party did not have the foresight. I'm not going to indict them in other states like Bayelsa, where I played a key role in Bayelsa. I might not indict Secondus there because he held forth, and today Doye Diri is the governor of Bayelsa with all the works we had to do. I remember all the works we had to do as a spokesman of that campaign. But in Anambra, it's not been done. It's not too late. So what we need to do right now is go back to the drawing board, immediately call a NEC meeting. If we can get Akinwumi to call a NEC meeting, because as it stands now, Uche Secondus cannot perform anything, any functions as the national chairman of the party. If we can, we should stop this. And you know that the national financial secretary, the national secretary, the national auditor, the youth leader, and a few others, about 2 others, have passed the vote of no confidence on Uche Secondus, who are members of the National Working Committee. So at this material point in time, maybe you will say it's good riddance that the court case came, even though I'm very much against the court case. It is for Akinwumi to immediately call a NEC meeting, not even a National Working Committee meeting, a NEC meeting of the party. Then we go into the expanded meeting and get a convention planning committee in place immediately.
Let me bring in...
That's exactly what I think.
Let me bring in Austin again. Mr. Okai, give us a sense of how the party can get out of this. First and foremost, in your own view, who wants Secondus out? That's a big question.
Yeah, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak on this. There's nobody that wants him out. Rather, the party hierarchies want Secondus out. Some members of NWC has passed a vote of no confidence on him. They were both elected by the same convention. You are aware the massive resignation of so many deputies that were elected in the same convention, based on the fact that he was running a party alone. So the idea of us trying to look for who to blame, that one man, one governor, one powerful governor wants Secondus out, I beg to disagree with that. Rather, it is that same powerful governor that helps Secondus into as the chairman of national chairman of People's Democratic Party. 2, you say that PDP nobody has ever completed their tenure earlier before. Let me speak on that. It is a matter of standard. This is the party that have the highest standard. And if you come there, you cannot meet up the standard. We have a mechanism of getting you out of that place. So I think the party should be commended for checking the character, the activities, and the action of whoever emerged as the national chairman of a party. On the way forward towards, Mr. Sheung, the Oga Elder Yemi Akinwumi, all eyes are on him now. Whether he's competent, is healthy or not, just as I said, I can't pass that judgment here. And I'm also appealing to Senator Nazifi, the deputy national chairman from the north, to give the man Yemi Akinwumi a little time. Let him move with the speed of light. Constitute the National Convention Committee. Call a NEC meeting. It is unfortunate he came in today and he postponed the NEC meeting. That is not a good start. That is not a good start. And he must not give an impression that he's a Secondus puppet or he's coming to do the bidding of Secondus.
I think he postponed the NWC meeting, not the NEC. I think the NEC will hold on Friday, I guess. The NWC has been postponed. It's the NWC meeting that was supposed to hold tomorrow, Wednesday, I guess. And NEC will hold on Friday from the information that we have. Please go ahead.
Yes. So these are not a good start. What are the reasons why postponing it? None of us is aware. You don't just give a unilateral decision without explaining to the party member what happened. That's not a good start. You should reconsider that decision, within a period that, within now and next week, he should call the both meeting of NWC and NEC meeting. On the way forward, to avoid any breach of our party constitution or to avoid any internal crisis. So I think the necessary thing to be done now is constitument of the National Convention Committee of like mind, of men that want the party to move in a speed that will project us for the victory ahead in the 2023 election. Therefore, all eyes on him, nothing is expected more than calling for National Convention. And just as you said, Prince Sekurus and his team should allow the current acting national chairman a free hand to operate. Any notice of interference from him will not be for the interest of the party. And I heard my friend Debo say that there must be a powerful person who gets a judge from the vacation to come and get order, and that the court order is an embarrassment and disrespect for the BOT and the governance forum. No, it's he that who refused to call the next meeting that has already disrespected the organs of the party. The man that was already working to renege his own agreement with the governance forum and expanded party caucus is the one that is disrespecting the party, not the court order. I don't want to agree with you on that. And they are saying every court there's always a vacation judges in every court, right from the lower court to the highest court. You just as I in this studio, you saw it where a court sat on the Sodek Boho and the DSS. That man was not, the judge who delivered, the Federal High Court judge that who delivered that judgment was not hired by any governors or by any powerful person to come and do that. So there are always a vacating judge. We shouldn't look for who to blame. The way forward is what we are on it now. And that is, in action should be activated for immediate conventional committee, national convention committee.
There is a question,
men that are experienced.
Yeah, the one question I'd like to have go around the room is, can Nigerians trust your party with all of these in-house trouble that you are in? If this is a party that says, oh, we want to come back to power in 2023, you cannot even organize yourselves better, and you are having this sort of crisis. Can Nigerians trust your party? I'd like you to react to it before I get Anthony into the conversation.
There's no crisis anymore. There was an allegation against the former national chairman from his own word, and he was suspended from the party. And there was a court order that's based on moral ground that once you are not a party member, you can't function as a national chairman. And on the issue of Nigerian trust us, yes, the decision for Sekurus must go was a responding to the call from Nigerians on the street that the PDP has not lived up to expectation. And there was worry everywhere that why are people leaving? Therefore, if something is wrong and we stand up to correct it, I think the party should be commended. And we having an internal checking mechanism that checks any chairman that is derailing and get him out is also enough reason why Nigeria should respect the party. They say that the PDP is not living up to expectation. And we have activated some action that will make Nigeria to trust us more. The removal of Prince Sekurus by the court and from his place should be a good omen to the party, not about Nigerian, should be a good omen to Nigerian and the whole opposition party, not about Nigerians seeing us that they are not trusting us. And the compliance of the court order by Prince Sekurus, which I've already commended him earlier, is also a good sign that PDP is not just about talking, we also comply with what we preach against, especially as President Muhammad Buhari and his parties are known for disobeying, disrespecting court order. We have done what is necessary, and Nigerians of all walks has no other option than to believe, trust, as the party is ready for victory come 2023. We are very much available.
Let me allow Anthony to come into the conversation. Same question to you, and also looking at what is the way out for your party. Let me read out again to you what Prince Uche Secondus said in his statement, and I quote, "It is disheartening that the interim order of court used in removing the former Chief Justice of Nigeria, CJN Justice Walter Onnoghen, unilaterally in January 2019, for which PDP vehemently condemned, is resurrecting again from Port Harcourt." So, the question I asked, can Nigerians trust your party that says you want to come back to prominence at the center in 2023, and you have a disorganized leadership at the moment because you don't even know where to go tomorrow morning if you wake up?
So I had a conversation with my mother, and I think she's watching this show, before I came on the show. And there's something that she used to do. Anytime she saw me doing wrong, as a child growing up, she was quick to caution me. She was quick. You would think that she hates me. And I thought at that time that she hated me by correcting me and making sure that I stood firm in values that I today believe in and live by. I think that is the same role PDP has played within itself. And when you compare PDP versus the other party that is in power today, you find out that anytime we have a situation, you don't have PDP members come to your show and try and cocoon the matter and try and make you feel that everything is well. PDP members speak up. PDP members take action. They speak up against anything within their party they feel is wrong. That is a distinct and unique feature that you find in PDP. And that is why PDP is poised and looks like the party that should have power by 2023, if all things being equal. You know, at the end of the last segment, you said because I'm a lawyer, I seem to make things look as they are not. But it's the truth. You can't take away from Anthony Ayala, but when he comes on air, he tells you how it is. It doesn't matter whose ox is God. I tell you exactly what it is. I go to bed tomorrow, wake up tomorrow, I'll come to your studio. It's still the same thing. I'll say again, because the truth can never be taken away. PDP is a unique party. PDP is a party that cares about Nigeria. PDP is a party that when it is set up, is construed to be a party that has checks and balances. It's not a one-sided party. It's not a regional party. It's not an ethnic party. It's not a religious party. The Christians are in PDP. Muslims are in PDP. They enjoy the same values. Everybody feels equal in PDP. So if you assume, when you say one man can assume to change things in PDP, it's impossible. Because there are different people in PDP that will checkmate anybody. If you are a powerful governor, there are other powerful governors in PDP. They must align with your idea before you are able to proceed. That is the beauty of democracy. That is the beauty of democracy that PDP offered Nigeria from 1998 when they took over power from the military. The people that originally formed PDP looked at Nigeria and said, look, we need to take power from this military and hand it over to Nigeria. And that is what they have proceeded to do. Forgive us. Forgive us as a party if we have our internal issues. But you must understand that as human beings, as social human beings, we must have issues when we try to align on our interest. Austin here, my brother, is in the PDP, I'm in the PDP. We may have different interests. It doesn't mean that I hate him. It doesn't mean that we will not see eye to eye. It doesn't mean that we will not work together to make this country work. That is what PDP stands for. You can see that the party, even with all the issues, it still had the meeting today. And by the way, I don't think Elder Yomi postponed NEC. What he postponed was the NWC meeting, which was supposed to hold today. Senator Nazif, there are no two factions. Please, let's be very clear on that. Senator Nazif, before Elder Yomi came into Abuja, had assumed that there was nobody to fill that vacuum and stepped in. But as soon as Elder Yomi came in, and I'm sure Senator Nazif is a man that wants the party to succeed. I'm sure that he's a man that is level-headed and will toe the line that this is the party organogram. This is the party constitution. This is what should happen. And that's what's going to happen. So believe me, Sharon, when I tell you, Nigerians must trust PDP. PDP has, in a very recent month, set up an e-registration portal that it wants to mirror like the CVR. Look at what the other parties are doing. They are still doing manual registration. They still have slips. When they register, they come with slips. I have my party card today. I'm sure Austin has registered his e-registration. He's a member of the strategic committee. And these are the innovations that PDP wishes to offer Nigerians. I can tell you, Shehu, PDP is poised to offer the kind of governance Nigeria had post-2015. Look, before 2015, Nigerians had dollar at 190. Today, dollar is 500 naira. Do you think Nigerians are not smart? The bag of rice that was 9,000 naira, today is 36,000 naira. And you want to say PDP and APC are the same? They can never be the same. They are not the same kind of thing. APC doesn't have a BOT. 6 years as a political party, you are yet to constitute your BOT. Today, PDP has every segment, the BOT, the NWC, the NEC, it's all functional. Please ask me if APC has any ward chairman anywhere in Nigeria. They don't have. And you are trying to compare us and say Nigerians do not trust. Who else would they trust if not PDP? We are the ones that they will trust. Look, PDP is not a function of its past. It's a function of the future it offers Nigeria. And people like myself and Austin and the other man in Lagos, my big brother Kelvin Okolibo, are the future of PDP, are the people that PDP are the conscience of PDP. We do not come to your studio and try and Miranda issues and try and meander around the issues as they are. We tell you the truth. We tell you that we are resolving our issues. We agree that we have faults, we have fault lines, we have ethnic issues, but we always have a table we can sit down on and discuss this issue.
Yeah.
And that's what we have seen in PDP.
Yeah.
I can assure you within the next 2-3 weeks, we'll have a convention committee. And Shenwa, I'll come back here, and I will hope that you will agree with me this time. Like I said the last time, that we will resolve the issue. And you agree that we are good and ready to sail.
I love your optimism. If you are a priest or you are into any religious activity, you will make a lot of followership because of your optimism. And I love it. It's good for you as a lawyer. But for me as a journalist, we always speak the truth and put the facts forward. Lawyers can debate otherwise. That's why we are different.
You always like stories like this, because that always makes you tick, Shehu. You know, but when it breaks like this, you enjoy it.
You will give us the final word on the program tonight, yes. Ken. And the question is, where does your party go from here?
You can't actually even compare us to the APC.
I'm not making comparisons.
Yes, because you're trying to say that why should Nigerians trust us? Why would they trust us?
The big question is,
yes,
my audience, I like to be truthful to them. I like them to get the fact, to get the crux of the matter.
Yes.
And anyone who comes here and is not trying to speak the truth, I try to put them in the shape to say the truth. And I'm trying to get the truth out of you guys. You guys are protecting your home. Your home is on fire. That's the question.
No, but there's no doubt. We are not saying that.
Now think that we don't have crisis.
We're not saying our house is not on fire.
Do you have the moral grounds to say that you want to rule Nigeria again when you cannot coordinate yourself as a political party? But that's the question.
Nigerians have married the 2 wives. They've married the 2 wives, like you get married to 2 wives. Nigerians have seen what the difference is. Yes, we are having an internal crisis now, and you can call it fire. I won't doubt the fact that we are not organized at this point because of the issue of the chairmanship crisis. But one thing you cannot take away from us is that we have a way of resolving our issues. I can assure you that by this time next week, the NEC would have met and they would have put our house in order. Our house is not in order, there's no doubt about it. But Nigerians can see the difference between when the APC had their crisis and when we have our crisis. Secondus has handed over. Oshimole was neither here nor there when the order came from even the appeal court. Remember that Ajimobi, may he so rest in peace, was incapacitated. That was why the man from Port Harcourt took over. But today, we have all agreed in this studio, whatever interest we have, that Akinwumi has taken over, which is what the Constitution says. And we have all agreed that even though he doesn't look like he's so fit, he will be able to call a meeting for us to move forward. How can he be saying that Nigerians should not trust us when unemployment is 33%, when the misery index only just fell from 19%? Sorry, the inflation has increased the misery index. Nigerians are hungry. Nigerians cannot purchase. The purchasing power is zero. I pay my gate man like maybe how much, 40, 50,000. And he comes end of the month, and before the end of the month, and tells me that it's gone. And I sympathize with him. I do not even know the salaries I pay in Ubiaruku where I have a business interest. I cannot even tell them last time when I could see people seated and comfortably having 3 square meals. This strata of the society, apart from those so-called big men, that maybe some of us might fall into that class. What I'm telling you is that Nigerians have every reason to trust the PDP. Because at this mature point in time, even the APC has agreed. You had a beautiful interview with one man that we respect so much, Pastor Tunde Bakare, who was one of the architects of this government. He also agreed that this government has failed. And so, what other alternative do you have? We only have 2 parties. Right. Do you want to go to ABGA?
Ken,
if you don't come to PDP.
We need to leave it. I mean, you guys, you have the opportunity today because we're talking about the crisis. You can sell your party as much as you like to deflect the problems in your house. But Nigerians know the truth, and we always tell them the truth right here on Channels Television. But I must sincerely thank the trio of Ken Okoligbo, Anthony Ehilebo, and Austin Okai. Thank you so much, gentlemen. It's a pleasure talking about the house on fire, the PDP house on fire, and the PDP
our house is not on fire. Our house is not on fire. There are just a few furnitures missing left, right, and center.
We'll quench that fire. We have the ability to quench it.
All right, but don't forget that exclusive interview with Pastor Tunde Bakare will repeat tonight at 11 p.m. Don't forget to catch up with it if you have not seen it. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I'm Sean Kimbale. Bye-bye.